The 2017 Toyota Prius. This is a car that a lot of enthusiasts just love to make fun of, but I gotta tell you, after spending some time with this all-new 2016 fourth generation Prius, I have to say there is a lot to like here. I'm Jay and welcome to Car Buzz Unboxing Reviews. And before I get started, I want to thank Toyota Marin for letting me come on down and film for you today. So like I said, this is the fourth generation Toyota Prius. It is fully redesigned inside and out. Some brief Prius history. The first generation launched in 1997, believe it or not, but it didn't reach U.S. shores until 2000. And so far, more than 5 million Prii, let's call them in plural, have been sold. And every 6 years or so, it's been redesigned, and I have to say for this fourth generation redesign, it is by far the most dramatic one yet. Now, officially this is a gasoline hybrid, just like before, but the new for 2016, like I said, this is the 2017 model. It's built on also all new platform that's been designed with a lower center of gravity and increased structural rigidity. This makes for a better ride and handling, but I gotta tell you, it is not anything sporty, not by any means. So if you're looking for a sporty hybrid, this is not it. It drives much more like a larger car, like a comfortable cruiser, and for a lot of buyers that's just fine. Now let's take a look at this exterior here. Personally, I find it kind of polarizing. I don't think the Toyota designers knew when to lift the pen. There's just a lot of styling going on in a car that's not particularly big. I mean, look, on the one hand, it's great that Toyota CEO Akio Toyoda has demanded his designers add some more emotion to the cars, but I think in this case, it might be a little overdone. But again, that's just my opinion. Some are going to love it, some are simply not. It is more aerodynamic before. Overall, it is longer, lower, and wider. I like the LED headlights and the taillights. I mean, yeah, they're pretty cool looking. I respect the fact they tried something different. I just don't know in application how well it's really going to age. And this particular car is painted in classic silver metallic. It's got 15-inch alloy wheels, rain-sensing wipers, bi-LED headlights, heated power outside mirrors. It's part of the $1,935 advanced technology package. This one comes with a power tilt slide moonroof with a sliding sunshade. So overall, yeah, you can definitely tell that the fourth generation 2017 Prius here is a Prius. It still has that 5-door hatchback design going there, and I think that's pretty much a staple for the standard Prius. Now, there are several trims that you can get in the Prius. You have the Prius 1, Prius 2, the 2 Eco, the 3 Touring, the 4 Touring, and the Prius Prime plug-in hybrid. Now, this is the Prius 4, so it's towards the higher end of the trim spectrum, but it's not the best one that you can get. There is also the Prius Eco, which returns a very impressive 58 miles per gallon in the city and 53 miles per gallon on the highway. Speaking of miles per gallon, what does this Prius deliver? Well, 54 miles per gallon in the city, 50 on the highway, and a combined 52 miles per gallon. Yeah, that's just very, very impressive for any car. There's also a regenerative braking system, which is basically an energy recovery mechanism which slows a vehicle by converting its kinetic energy into a form which can either be used right away or stored until needed. And the vehicle itself weighs about 3,113 pounds. So I got to say that's actually pretty heavy for a car of this size. But then again, the batteries, they do weigh a lot. That's nothing new, and that really can't be changed. So let's talk about this engine here. There's a 1.8-liter inline-four paired with 2 electric motors that receive their juice from a lithium-ion battery pack. It's paired only with a continuously variable transmission. That's a CVT. The engine itself produces 95 horsepower, but the electric motors provide an additional 71 horsepower. There's a combined total of 121 horsepower. Believe it or not, that's actually slightly less powerful than the previous third-generation Prius. But then again, the new car is a bit smaller and lighter than before to help make up for some of the performance times. And speaking of performance times, 0 to 60 miles per hour will happen in 10.5 seconds. In other words, eventually. Top speed is 114 miles per hour, but I don't even see anyone going above 100 miles per hour in a Prius. I just don't. So let's step inside here. This one is painted, not painted. It's got the black seats. Smart Flow climate control system, 7-inch high-resolution display screen with navigation. Toyota's latest version of its Entune app suite, which actually does offer Pandora. Now, the overall fit and finish of this car, I have to say it was a definite improvement over the previous third-generation Prius. I felt like when I was driving the third-generation Prius, it was literally like driving a washing machine appliance. It was just like a big hunk of plastic, and I didn't find it that comfortable. It was just boring. So I do appreciate the fact that Toyota has made things a little bit more exciting here. Now, stepping to the rear seat, the rear legroom is actually less than before. Not a whole lot, but you're gonna notice it, especially for taller drivers. Now, this car is actually equipped with the premium convenience package for $1,705. And what does that give you? A premium nav system with Entune, hands-free phone capability, advanced voice recognition, music streamlined via Bluetooth, emergency assistance, and even a stolen vehicle locator. Now, these seats are decked out in what they Toyota call soft text trimmed. It's not like leather. It's a very upgraded material that I like it. I don't think it's going to age particularly well. I could see some wear and tear happening there, but then again, not everybody wants leather seats in a Prius. I get that, and these work just fine. But I do like this new dash design here, especially over the previous third generation. It was just sort of like a wraparound design, if anyone recalls the third generation car. And it was just, you're surrounded by just too much plastic, and I didn't like it. This is much more straightforward, and believe it or not, it did sort of remind me of the Nissan Leaf's front or dash design. But this is definitely more modern, and the materials, once again, from Toyota are top quality. There's also a 4.2-inch color dual multi-info display. And that's your speedometer right there. Once again, it's in the center of the dash as opposed to being directly in front of the driver. It's just sort of a Prius styling trademark that Toyota has continued doing. Personally, I found it to be a little annoying, and I had to get used to it, especially since for all other cars, the driver's gauges and speedometer are right directly in front of them. But here, you just have to look slightly to your right. Now, this is the Entune app system and navigation system from Toyota. I've never been a big fan of Entune. It is personally, in my opinion, lagging behind the likes of Ford's new Sync 3, FCA's Uconnect system, and it's definitely not up there with BMW's iDrive or any of the other German automakers such as Audi. This works. That's all I'll say. There was no rebooting. It's faster than before. I remember about a year or so ago, I reviewed a Toyota Corolla with a base version of Entune, and I just thought it was just really not good. And I was surprised that Toyota was still offering something like that. But what's cool here is because this is the Prius, you have this ability in energy monitor. You can just see how much juice the battery is taking up, and in terms of miles per gallon with the gasoline engine. This is something that Prius owners really like to take a look at. I was reading not long ago that a lot of Prius buyers are people in the high-tech industry. Not the high-tech millionaires, they go out and buy Porsche 911s, but the people who are still up-and-coming in high-tech, they like the Prius and also the Chevrolet Volt, for an example, just because there's a lot of tech goodness going on here, and they like to monitor their miles per gallon very precisely, and the Prius allows you to do that. All right, so let's talk about some safety here. A lot of standard safety bits. For an example, you got traction control, four-wheel anti-lock disc brakes, brake assist, and smart stop tech blind spot monitoring system, driver and front passenger airbags, as well as seat-mounted side airbags, side curtain airbags, driver's knee airbag, and rear passenger airbags as well. In addition, there's a tire pressure monitoring system, which is I think that's a very good system that's pretty much standard in all new cars today. And fortunately, this has also earned a 5-star U.S. government crash test rating. That's the top rating that you can get. Specifically, let's break it down. It's got 4 stars in the frontal crash test for driver and passenger, and 5 stars in the side crash for front and rear seats, and a 4-star rollover rating. There's also wireless charging there, too. That's a very nice feature. However, And this is kind of weird. Toyota is not offering Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Big mistake. Toyota, anyone who's listening, get both of those into your cars right away. And this is how you change gears with this little knob there. That's your CVT gear shifter. It's very basic. It does the job. Again, this is not a sports car. This is a driving appliance that's extremely fuel efficient. All right, so what is some of the competition? There's not a whole lot in this specific category. Now, you can get a lot of other cars such as the Ford Fusion. You can get that as a hybrid and even as an EV. But I'm going to limit the competition mainly to three other gasoline hybrids that are on sale right now, the Chevrolet Volt, and there's also the new Hyundai Ioniq, which looks an awful lot like, in my opinion, the previous generation Prius, even though it looks a little bit better. All of Hyundai's latest styling bits right there. There's also the brand new Kia Niro, and that is a crossover. And it doesn't look like much from the outside, but it's also a very impressive people or family hauler if you're looking for something very fuel efficient and, like it is with all Kias, a lot of value. Now, if you really want to go bigger here and start spending more money on something electric and luxurious, there is also the Audi A3 Sportback e-tron, but that begins at something like $40,000. The Chevrolet Volt begins at $34,000. The Kia Niro, $24,000, and the Hyundai Ioniq, $23,000. And then you get to toss in all those tax rebates from either the state and the federal level too. So you could be saving around $7,000, depending on which state you live in, on a fuel-efficient car such as the Prius or any of the other competition I mentioned. So let's talk pricing for this Prius. Now, a base Prius, the Prius 1, has a standard price of $23,475, while the top trim Prius 4 Touring begins at $30,015. Now, our Prius 4 began at $28,650, but I mentioned a couple of extra packages we had tacked on. In addition to the $835 destination handling fee, the grand total for this car you're looking at came to $33,549. Now, again, remember, there are various state and federal tax breaks that you can get when at the end of the year. So don't forget to take those into account when it comes to pricing itself. All right, so what do I like going on here? Well, like I said, this is a better overall car than any of its predecessors, bar none, by far. This is a Prius, believe it or not, I would actually consider buying. I would not have said the same thing in regards to the previous generation Prius, for sure. I'd driven that car, I just didn't like it. I felt like I was driving a washing machine. I didn't even know that was possible, but the previous Prius proved that it was possible to feel that way. This car, not at all. You're actually driving, it feels like you're driving a normal car, and it has a better ride as well. It's not like you're just floating on the road. It's a very comfortable cruiser. And the fuel economy itself, like I said, an average of 52 miles per gallon combined. That's very impressive for this car. Now, what don't I like? The styling, mainly the exterior styling, is still kind of polarizing. If you've seen other Toyota models these days, you'll notice that, Toyota is trying to add a lot of emotion to its cars. Take a look at the new 2018 Camry, for an example. Again, I'm going to keep saying this. I don't think Toyota knew when to lift the pen in terms of design. It's just a little too much for me. And this car is just as slow as ever. 10.5 seconds to 0 to 60. I mean, come on. Again, not a performance car. I got to even remind myself of that too. And also, there's no Apple CarPlay or Android Auto connectivity. That's not really good. Another thing actually I do like is the increased cargo space here. It used to be in the previous car 22 cubic feet. Now it is a grand total of 25 cubic feet. And as you can see, the rear seats fold flat, 60-40 split. So there's just a lot of versatility with this car overall. But I will say, just looking at it, especially from this front end, it is a standout. It does make people turn their heads a little bit, and for better for better or for worse. There was one person I was noticed this car that I was driving, and they could have sworn it was the Toyota Mirai, which is actually, it's a very unique car. It's a hydrogen power car that Toyota is producing in very, very small numbers, but it's meant to be, and has a similar design as to this, is very futuristic looking, and in a way I was happy to see some recognition for the Prius, and the fact that Toyota did try to add some emotion to it and try to get it more attention, and it's doing the same. Now, I don't know how that person feels about the car, but they were surprised to say that, wow, this is a Prius. So there's something. But overall, if you're a fan of the Toyota Prius, you're going to love this version. If you're not a fan of the Toyota Prius, I encourage you to at least come and check this one out if you're in the market for a new and fuel-efficient car that's basically just basic transportation. I really believe this, and I wouldn't be saying so otherwise, that you are going to be pleasantly surprised. But I'm out of time for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time.